ever stop and really think about what makes someone mentally tough?
Hmm.
You see these incredible stories, right? Navy SEALs, elite athletes.
Pushing through unbelievable stuff.
Exactly. And you kind of think, well, they must just be born different.
Yeah, that's the common assumption.
But what if that resilience, that ability to face adversity isn't, just something you have? What if it's a skill?
Something they've trained,
Right. Something they actually worked on. Because that's what we're really digging into today.
the practical side of it.
Yeah, the surprisingly practical ways you can build your own, mental armor through specific daily habits.
We're talking about a real roadmap here.
A way to teach your brain, essentially, to handle whatever life throws at it.
And that's such a crucial shift in perspective, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We admire people who seem inherently tough, but you look closer and, well, you find patterns.
Deliberate actions.
Deliberate actions, exactly.
Mhm.
Things that have built up that mental strength over time. It's much less about luck or genes than just consistent practice. Precisely. So if you've ever wished you were maybe a bit more resilient, better under pressure,
Then this deep dive is definitely for you.
it really is.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our goal today is pretty clear. Give you a concrete plan
Something tangible.
to cultivate that inner strength. We'll break down the core components, the building blocks of mental toughness.
And then lay out that step-by-step approach you can start using, well, basically right away.
Think of it like your backstage pass, yeah. To understanding how to forge a more resilient mind.
And our conversation, it's going to follow a clear path.
Good.
First, we'll pinpoint those key elements. What is mental toughness, really?
The foundations.
Then we get into the practical stuff. A 30-day plan
Ooh.
filled with specific daily exercises designed to challenge you, build that resilience.
Friendly.
We'll look at some real-world examples, people known for their mental toughness.
And see how their actions line up with what we're talking about.
Exactly.
All right, let's dive straight into those core elements then. From the research, it seems like it really boils down to 3 fundamental pillars.
3 key areas.
And the good news, the really encouraging part, is all 3 can be strengthened. You can actually train them.
That's the empowering part.
So the first one is emotional control. Now, this isn't about, bottling things up or pretending you don't feel anything.
No, not at all. It's more about understanding your emotional responses.
Especially when things get intense, right?
And then consciously choosing how you react.
Instead of just being, swept away by those initial feelings.
Precisely. Emotional control is about creating a little bit of space.
A pause.
Yeah, a pause
Okay.
between the trigger, whatever sets you off, and your response. It's the ability to just observe your emotions without immediately acting on them.
Imagine a stressful situation at work. Your boss gives you some tough feedback.
Right. Someone with good emotional control, they might feel that initial sting, disappointment, maybe frustration,
Sure, that's natural.
but they don't let it derail them. They can take a breath, process it objectively.
And then respond constructively.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how that conscious pause, it can actually disrupt our usual sort of stress-driven responses in the brain. It rewires things a bit.
Interesting. Okay, pillar number 2, pain tolerance.
Right. And pain here isn't just physical.
No, though that's part of it, obviously.
It's broader. It's about your willingness to lean into discomfort, any kind.
Physical, emotional.
Even just the unease of pushing past what feels easy.
Recognizing that growth often happens right there at the edge of your comfort zone.
And what's really intriguing about pain tolerance is often our perception of the discomfort
Uh-huh.
that's more limiting than the actual sensation itself.
So we think it's worse than it is.
Often, yes. By intentionally exposing ourselves to manageable levels of challenge, small doses of discomfort, we can essentially recalibrate.
Change what we think is difficult.
Exactly. Build resilience against that urge to just back away immediately from anything hard, like gradually turning up the heat. You adapt.
Makes sense. And the third pillar, the one that kind of ties it all together.
Relentless focus.
Yeah. This is the ability to lock onto your goals, your objectives.
And maintain that concentration.
Despite all the stuff that pops up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Distractions, setbacks, those moments of self-doubt.
Which are inevitable.
Totally. It's about staying the course, even when it gets tough and your mind just wants to wander off somewhere else.
And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, relentless focus is what allows us to actually use our emotional control and pain tolerance effectively.
Okay, so they work together.
Absolutely. You can have amazing emotional resilience, a high threshold for discomfort, but without the ability to consistently direct your mental energy.
Towards your goals.
Right. Those qualities alone won't guarantee results. Focus is the steering wheel. It guides your resilience where you want it to go.
Okay, this is clicking. Now, I found something pretty compelling in our research, a Yale study, apparently.
Oh, yeah?
It showed that people who actively train their mental toughness can see get this, 200% improvement in performance under pressure.
Wow. 200%.
200. That really just hammers home the point, doesn't it? This isn't just some vague feel-good idea.
No, it has tangible, significant effects.
On what you can actually achieve.
Yeah. And that statistic, it really underscores the power of intentional training. It's
Yeah.
just like physical muscles, right?
You exercise them, they get stronger.
Our mental capacities respond in the same way to consistent challenge. By deliberately pushing ourselves in these three areas, emotional control, pain tolerance, relentless focus.
We're basically giving our minds a workout.
A workout that leads to measurable gains, better handling of pressure, more effective performance.
Okay, so we know those three pillars. Now let's get to the how.
Practical application.
Our sources outline this fascinating 30-day battle plan, like a month-long mental boot camp.
Designed to put these principles into action in your daily life.
Let's walk through what each week looks like.
Sounds good. And this plan, it's designed to progressively challenge you across all those areas we just talked about.
To start small.
It starts with introducing small, manageable discomforts, and then it gradually ramps up. More significant tests of resilience later on.
Okay, week 1, it's about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Foundational.
The plan suggests starting your day with cold showers.
Slight chuckle.
Yeah.
The classic.
Yeah, I know that might sound a bit shocking, literally.
It definitely wakes you up.
But the idea here is you immediately put yourself in a situation where you have to exert mental control.
To overcome that initial jolt, that urge to just leap out.
Right. It's a small daily win, builds momentum for the rest of the day.
Exactly. That resistance you feel to the cold, and your conscious choice to stay under it. That's a mini exercise in both emotional control and pain tolerance.
Sets the tone.
Sets an intentional tone. The other practice for week 1 is delaying gratification.
Okay, how?
The specific example is waiting 30 minutes before checking your phone in the morning.
That's a tough one for many people.
It really is. In our world, grabbing that phone is almost automatic, isn't it?
A reflex.
So deliberately resisting that urge, even for just 30 minutes, it strengthens your ability to control impulses.
And helps you prioritize your focus for the day, I guess.
Precisely.
Okay, week 2. This shifts towards something called stress inoculation.
Like getting small doses of a vaccine, yeah, to build immunity.
So the challenges here are designed to expose you to different kinds of stress, but in a controlled way.
To build that mental resilience.
High-intensity workouts are on the list.
Right. Pushing your body to its limits. Experiencing that physical fatigue, that mental battle to keep going.
That directly strengthens your pain tolerance and just overall resilience.
Absolutely. And the other key element for week 2 is practicing public speaking by recording yourself daily.
Oof. Confronting a common fear there.
Definitely. It forces you to deal with the discomfort of being vulnerable, potentially facing judgment.
Even if it's just your own judgment when you watch it back.
Exactly. And reviewing those recordings, that provides valuable feedback too. Helps build confidence for when you are under pressure.
Okay, week 3. This seems to really amp up the focus on, focus, attention, concentration.
They call it focus under fire.
The plan includes implementing distraction-free work blocks.
Meaning absolutely no phone.
No email notifications pinging.
No multitasking, just one thing.
This is all about training your brain to stay laser-focused on a single task for, like, a sustained period.
Which is a skill that feels increasingly rare, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. In our always-on world, but so valuable.
And this practice, it directly targets that pillar of relentless focus. Our attention is constantly being pulled everywhere.
So creating these deep work periods.
You're strengthening your ability to resist those external distractions, to keep your concentration on what actually matters.
And the other part of week 3.
Practicing meditation, but in noisy environments.
Interesting. So taking mindfulness and adding intentional distraction.
Exactly. Further training your ability to maintain focus even when there's chaos around you.
Okay, final week. Week 4 is labeled Total Resilience. Sounds intense.
It involves some more significant challenges, yeah.
Yeah.
Designed to really push your boundaries.
Build that deep belief in your own abilities. What's that term? Self-efficacy?
Self-efficacy, exactly. Your belief that you can succeed. One suggestion is a voluntary hardship day.
Like what?
Could be a 24-hour fast. Or even just sleeping on the floor for a night.
Huh. These are meant to be deliberate choices then.
Deliberate choices to experience some hardship, to prove to yourself that you have the resources, mentally and physically, to handle it.
It's about reinforcing that self-belief.
Yeah, exactly. By choosing these hardships and getting through them, you strengthen your conviction, your belief that you can cope when things get genuinely difficult.
And there's one more interesting element in week 4, failure simulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Intentionally putting yourself in mildly embarrassing situations.
Okay, that sounds weird. Why?
Chuckles. It does sound a bit strange, but the idea is desensitization.
To the fear of failure. Or looking silly.
Exactly. Fear of failure, social judgment. By intentionally experiencing these small failures or awkward moments and realizing they aren't catastrophic.
The world doesn't end.
Right. You can reduce the anxiety associated with bigger, more significant challenges down the line. It takes the sting out of potential failure.
Huh. That's actually quite clever. It's also worth mentioning our source included a really practical pro tip.
Ah, yes, the tracking.
Tracking your own toughness score each day, rating yourself like 1 to 10 in each area.
Emotional control, pain tolerance, focus.
Yeah. It adds this layer of self-awareness, right? Lets you actually see your progress over the 30 days.
That kind of self-assessment is incredibly valuable. It makes it tangible.
See the graph go up, hopefully.
Hopefully. And it encourages you to be more introspective, helps you see, okay, maybe I need to focus more on pain tolerance this week, or really nail down those focus blocks.
Right, tailor it a bit. Now, this isn't just abstract theory, is it?
Not at all.
Our sources point to several real-world examples. People who've shown extraordinary mental toughness.
And their stories really bring these principles to life.
Take David Goggins, for instance. His transformation is just unbelievable.
From nearly 300 pounds to a Navy SEAL.
And he credits it all to this relentless pursuit of basically self-inflicted challenges, constantly pushing his limits physically and mentally.
Goggins' journey is such a powerful illustration. Intentional development of both pain tolerance and relentless focus.
He didn't wait for tough times.
No, he actively sought them out, used them as training. His story really highlights how often our limits are just perceived limits.
Things we tell ourselves.
Self-imposed, yeah.
Yeah.
And they can be overcome with consistent effort and that willingness to embrace discomfort.
Then you've got someone like Kobe Bryant,
Mamba mentality.
a legendary athlete, obviously, renowned for his insane dedication, his ability to perform at the absolute highest level.
Even when facing huge adversity.
Playing through broken fingers, illness, extreme fatigue.
Bryant's career is like a masterclass in mental toughness under pressure. His consistency, maintaining focus, pushing through significant physical and mental pain. It just underscores the importance of both pain tolerance and that unwavering focus.
Absolute commitment to the goal, no matter what.
No matter the obstacles.
And finally, Jocko Willink,
Former Navy SEAL commander.
teaches that powerful idea. Discipline equals freedom.
His approach really emphasizes structure, routine,
Taking responsibility.
taking extreme ownership, all in service of building mental resilience and achieving your goals.
Willink's teachings highlight the role of emotional control and relentless focus.
All within that framework of strict discipline. His idea that freedom comes from discipline. It sounds counterintuitive at first, right?
A little bit, yeah.
But it speaks to the power of consciously choosing and sticking to practices that build your mental strength, that enable you to act effectively, even when things are chaotic.
So what's the common thread here? Looking at Goggins, Bryant, Willink,
It's exactly what our source points out.
they don't just sit back and wait for challenges.
No, they actively go out and create them.
They understand that real mental toughness is forged, in the fire.
The crucible of intentional discomfort and disciplined effort.
That proactive approach seems absolutely key.
It is. Mental toughness isn't passive. It's not something you just have or don't have.
It's an active, ongoing process.
Continually challenging yourself, learning from it, adapting. These individuals understood that by deliberately stepping outside their comfort zones.
They were building the resources.
The mental and emotional resources they'd need for even bigger challenges later on, when things inevitably got tough.
So, okay, you've heard the principles, you've seen the 30-day plan, you've heard these incredible examples.
Now it's time for you, the listener, to take the reins.
We're launching what we're calling the 30-day toughness pledge.
Get involved. Start building your own mental resilience.
This isn't just about listening, right?
No, it's about doing. Actively putting these principles into practice, experiencing the power firsthand.
Okay, first step. Make a commitment to yourself.
Hmm.
Right now, wherever you're listening, pause if you need to. Leave a comment that just says, day one.
Simple as that.
It's your public declaration, your first step in holding yourself accountable for the next 30 days.
That accountability piece is important.
Second, look back at that 30-day battle plan we talked through. Pick at least 3 challenges.
Just 3 to start.
Yeah, 3 that resonate. Things you know will nudge you just outside your current comfort zone. You don't have to do everything at once.
Start focused.
Start with a few focused efforts.
And remember, consistency is absolutely the key here.
Every day matters.
Even small daily challenges done regularly, they add up. Big cumulative improvements in mental resilience.
So choose challenges you can realistically fit into your routine.
And commit to them for these 30 days.
Finally, we genuinely want to hear about your journey.
Share your progress.
Report back weekly in the comments. Tell us how it's going, the struggles, the small wins.
The insights you gain along the way.
We might even share some of your stories, to inspire others taking the pledge with you.
Sharing helps you stay accountable, definitely.
Yeah.
But it also builds a community.
People supporting each other.
Exactly. A community striving for greater mental toughness.
Yeah.
Your experiences can be incredibly valuable, really motivating for others.
Think of it this way. You don't just magically become tough when you desperately need to be, right?
Doesn't work like that.
You build that resilience in the everyday moments, the lead up to the big challenges.
Through consistent preparation.
So that when adversity inevitably shows up, you're not caught off guard.
You're ready. Ready to meet it head on.
The ability to navigate life's difficulties, the inevitable ones, with strength and resilience, it's not luck.
No, it's a direct result of intentional cultivation. Hard work.
By embracing these daily practices, committing to this 30-day plan,
You're making a powerful investment in your future self.
equipping yourself with the mental tool.
Tools you need to not just survive, but to actually thrive, whatever challenges come your way.
So the question is, are you ready? Ready to take the pledge?
Commit to day 1.
Choose your initial challenges. And let's start this journey together. Let's build some serious mental toughness.